Hello again, this is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener. It's time to talk about driveways, concrete versus pavers. Hey, does your driveway look like this, just cracked and falling and heaving and in all kinds of nightmare conditions? Well, I bet you're wondering, if I rip it out, what am I going to replace it with? Concrete or pavers, or even a combination of both? So we're going to look at the real quick basics of how these are installed and what the costs are and what some of the options are. So that first driveway you saw, we tore that one out and she decided to do a concrete driveway. Now, she didn't want plain gray. She wanted a colored concrete driveway. So this is actually a color by Davis Colors. They actually make concrete colors. There's about 10 to 15 different kinds of colors, so definitely check out the link in the video description on Davis Colors. And so this one's called Palomino. Now, the really important thing about concrete is you have to do these things called control joints every 4 to 6 feet. Concrete is going to crack every 6 feet. It always will. It's just the nature of the way the concrete expands and contracts with the weather, settles with the soil. And so what you're trying to do with these control joints is to control where the concrete cracks. So when the concrete's wet, they get these things called groovers. And they use different kinds of groovers for long horizontal ones and for the bands as well. And so these things control where the control joints are going to go. Now, with this particular driveway, she wanted something a little bit fancier than a regular 6-foot parallel to the house. So in this case, we did 4-foot diamond control joints, meaning that they're rotated 45 degrees from the house to give it a really nice kind of flourish to the way the concrete settles in. And then we did a nice band all the way around the perimeter. Now again, this is colored concrete, and so it's going to dry much lighter than what it looks like now. Now, another option you can do with concrete are some of the finishes. You can do a stamped concrete finish to make it look like flagstone, or what I always recommend for driveways is a top cast finish. Now, a top cast, and it comes in 3, 4, and 5. Basically, it's a surface retardant that is sprayed on the concrete when it's wet, and it's allowed to sit overnight, and this slowly eats away the top layer of the concrete. The next morning, the guys will come back and use a power sprayer to hose all the retardant off. Now, they're really careful to put up a little pump so that the runoff goes into the pump area and doesn't go into the street, because that is, of course, a violation in most states to let that kind of chemical stuff run off into the street. But the finished result, as you can see, is kind of a gritty, grainy kind of finish, and this is really kind of, again, adds a little pizzazz to the concrete, but more importantly makes it really less slippery than, say, a regular concrete finish. Great for driveways, but also if this is a driveway where you have to walk up a little slope, then you want to make sure that in rain or sleet or anything that it has some good grippiness to it. I also like to recommend using this for swimming pools and any place where there's a potential for slip factor. So again, that's called a top cast number 3 finish. So those are some of the advantages of doing a driveway in concrete. Now, you can also do driveways with concrete with, say, ribbons of artificial turf, and that's kind of a cool look as well. You can use concrete with paver trim, paver medallions or diamonds in the middle to kind of give it a little bit more flourish than just a regular concrete. So now let's talk about paver driveways. The big advantage that paver driveways have over concrete is that you have a much wider range of colors and patterns and styles with it. Pavers, as you see in the links in this, come in a wide range of, again, about 15 to 20 colors, and you can mix different colors to get really cool color combinations. There's different textures from smooth to rough. This one's called Stone Top. This one's called a Catalan paver. And again, there's links for all these pavers in the catalog. But again, what I love about pavers is that just a much more interesting texture to it. There's also just regular kind of plain block pavers, and those are kind of nice too. The other cool thing about pavers is that you can do these medallions in it. Now, paver driveways are built kind of the same way that concrete driveways are built, in that they go down, they add the base, they add the rebar, and work their way up. But what's interesting is that this driveway done in pavers costs about the same as this driveway, because this driveway, even though it's just concrete, has the colors, the 4-foot diamond joints, and the top cast finish. So when you add all those little extra perks into a concrete driveway, it is about the same as pavers. So my question, it's really about, personal style. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. I want to thank Juan with Unique Landscaping and Cabrera Concrete for their help in all these different driveways that we've done over the years. And again, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and hit subscribe to get more of my garden videos. This is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, saying thanks so much for watching.